Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I am crafting a little bit with the clear Stampin' Die of the month for October of 2023. I've also brought out some of the supplies from the card kit from this month as well. And I really thought that this particular glimmer plate worked pretty well with some of the patterns that I saw in the pattern papers and in some of the ephemera too. So I already had these extra panels glimmered up and just waiting to be used, so I don't actually have footage of me glimmering them, but I didn't do anything special. I'm just using some of the solid color cardstock that does come in the card kit, and it actually coordinates really well with this glimmer foil that I used, which is a beautiful blue. And I'm going to keep as much of the panel as possible and make 2 cards today. I decided with the penguins that are super adorable in the clear stamp of the month this month that I'm actually not going to color them up. I mean, there's not a lot to color, but I want to actually keep everything pretty monochromatic and not only allow for the penguins to stand forward, but also let the glimmered background also shine. It is glimmer, it is foil, so it's definitely going to shine, but I just didn't want to throw more color at this. I kind of want all of that beautiful foil to be the star. And this particular glimmer plate, I think, is from the Glimmering Christmas collection that released a little bit earlier this year. It's the monoline geometric one. I'll try to find links to everything and leave them in the description box below in case you are curious to check them out. But I really love the geometric pattern of this, and it looks really good as a positive and a negative foiling. I've also been really into using circles on my cards lately. I had started some sketches from the latest Kendra's card challenge. We're up to number 12 right now. And in this one, there are quite a bit of circles that are actually built into the cutting guide. So normally the cutting guide has a lot of easy, just straight cuts, and usually it's the card sketches that will suggest a circle just as a jumping off point for maybe some additional mats and layers, or maybe as a backdrop to a sentiment or focal image. But I found with this one in particular, the cutting guide actually does suggest various size circles, and I thought that was kind of cool and not something that I do very much in my card making. I'll maybe have like 1 circle as what I was saying before, the backdrop or a little bit of a stage for some collaging or for my focal image. But I like the idea of clustering different circles across your card, and it has this I feel like it suggests a little bit of movement, but as well it just has everything kind of feeling a little bit softer, and I like that contrast against this very geometric, very straight lined glimmer design. So I thought that was kind of fun to just play with that juxtaposition. And what I'll do before I actually adhere my penguins onto their circles, I've already stamped one of the sentiments onto one of the 3 circles that I'm using, but I want to have a little bit of a halo around the penguins, just so that there's a little bit of a shadow behind them, and that way they stand out against that plain white circle a little bit. It also brings a little bit of color forward from the glimmered design, but it's not an extra different color. It actually turns out that this particular shade of Distress Oxide ink really matches fairly well with this particular foil. And if I can find the name of the actual foil, I'll go ahead and link to that as well. But I think I do have a general link to all of the glimmer foil rolls in my standard list of supplies. The other thing that I'm going to add to finish up this card is some of this gorgeous embellishment mix, and this is actually put out by a crafty friend of mine, Helen of Crafty Mama Diaries. She sells these in her Etsy shop. And you've seen me perhaps use them before. I've used them a few times now in several videos, and her mixes, I feel, are really lovely. There's always a beautiful variety of sequins, confetti, different shaped confetti, and some of the mixes even have some seed beads that are micro. They are tiny, so they're not super thick. You could still use them very easily on a shaker card, for example, especially if you like noisemakers as your shaker cards, because those seed beads, they do tend to make a bit more noise, but they're not super thick. So I think you could maybe still get by with standard postage if your card isn't too heavy. So her gorgeous embellishment mixes are just lovely. I've really enjoyed using them. And I do like to use them in the way that I did on that first card, where I'm just picking and choosing just the elements from there to use individually as accents, as opposed to actually using it as shaker fill. So I like to do that because it does help me just kind of stretch my supplies a little bit. Now for my second card, I thought that I would pull out some of the chipboard stickers, some of the puffy stickers, and of course some of the beautiful ephemera that you get in the card kit of the month for this month. And it's always such a lovely variety. There is so much in here. The amount of cards that you can make with these kits is, well, to be honest, I don't know, because I've never finished using an entire kit. I feel like I make a lot of cards and I still have a lot left over. In fact, I actually pulled out a very generous amount of the die cut ephemera, and I cut up some of the pattern papers and I made them into little mini card kits to give away this past weekend during my 12-hour marathon live stream, and I still have a ton left over. So I felt like I was like really stuffing it. I maxed it out to get to close to 2 ounces, because you can get the forever 2-ounce stamps. And so I kind of maxed that out. I included some of the chipboard stickers even, and I still just have a lot left in this kit. Still tons of craftability. So here, again, I've pulled out some circles, and I don't know if you saw my earlier video where I crafted with the kit, but I originally cut circles that were ended up being bigger than what I wanted. And so all I did was, instead of cutting a second set of circles, I just cut a smaller circle out of the original large one. But I save everything, folks. I did save those frames, because when I cut the smaller circle out of the larger one, I positioned it so that it would be centered, and that gave me 2 frames. One is the light pink frame that I'm using on top of the white cardstock, and then the other is that red frame that I use as a shadow layer to my circle here. And so I use everything, even though that's just solid color cardstock and it's not specialty paper. I knew I would be crafting more with this kit, so why not save those elements? And maybe I thought turn it into a shaker, because the bits that come in this month's card kit are gorgeous. It's another beautiful mix of different sequins, clay slices, and confetti. and would be really awesome as a shaker. So I actually saved those thinking I would make some shaker cards, but when I started in on this card, I thought, well, why not start using up the elements that I have left over? And I came up with this card, which I think is kind of fun. The ornament that I'm popping up on this card right now, that's the one that really inspired me to use this particular glimmer plate, because it's not exact, but it has a lot of similarities in terms of the geometric lines on that particular ornament. They really do remind me of the pattern of this monoline geometric glimmer plate. So that's really the piece that started it all. When I saw that piece, I thought, oh, that's I know exactly what's going to go well with that. So that's sort of how my brain works sometimes. I'll see one thing that might remind me of something else, and that's how my cards generally evolve. There'll be a spark of something, and then I just kind of wing it from there. These sentiments that I'm using are a really lovely set, actually. It's all sentiments, the die set, and it has not only the word dies in a variety of different phrases that are useful throughout the year, and each of the words also has a shadow layer to it. So I think that's really pretty cool too. And again, I'll leave links to everything in the description box below. Off the top of my head, I don't immediately remember. Here's a close-up look at the 2 cards that I made today, and I just had a lot of fun designing with circles. I think I'm going to be doing this more. Last month I did use a lot of squares. I guess this month is going to be a lot of circles. And I'll leave links, as I mentioned, to everything in the description box below. I do want to thank everybody who does use my affiliate links. It's so kind of you to support me in that way. I know it doesn't cost you anything extra, but there are a lot of content creators and designers, and so I know that you're probably trying to kind of spread the love out and spread out your support. So thank you for that, and I always appreciate anytime anyone uses my links. I'm very, very grateful to you all. Thanks again for everything, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.